This is Dabu7 with all the saber rattling going on here on the world stage, these theaters of war. We have some comments made by Trump. Some of you may have missed it. Some of you may know what I'm talking about here, but I want to go over what he said because in classic Trump style, he did what he said he wasn't going to do here in basically saying, I don't want to talk about it. But right after the period, at the end of that sentence, he talks about it. And he goes on to say, we're sending an Armada, very powerful. We have submarines that are very powerful, more powerful than an aircraft carrier. I can tell you that. We have the best military people on the earth. And I will say this, he's doing the wrong thing in regards to this guy. He said he is doing the wrong thing. And then the guy questioning Trump says, do you think he's mentally fit? And he says, I don't know him. He's doing the wrong thing. That's all he would say. But going through here, he was basically saying that Trump and them Obama basically was beating the war drums and talking about it, and all this stuff was carrying on, and they never finished it. I want to remind you that when Trump was in the midst of this whole election thing, he had stated live on national television that Obama was responsible for ISIS. He said this, your president. If that's the case, how come Obama's not being tried right now? Here on this world stage, that's exactly what it is. So we have this puppet regime. And if you want to look back at some crazy stuff, check this out. I just put out a video talking about downtown Damascus. And you want to talk about a crazy moment in time right here, just to level the playing field and where we sit? Trump dropped bombs on Damascus on April 7th. The evening of the 6th here, but it was raining bombs in Damascus on April 7th. They have multiple streets here that I covered in another video that have dates, and the next one is April 17th. So you keep your eyes peeled to see if anything happens around these dates in connection with not only Damascus, but North Korea. And why? Why North Korea? When it comes to Damascus, what are the odds there's a connection to North Korea here? And there's other dates. May 6th runs right down to the heart of it. But when you take a closer look, what is this? It says Kim Il-sung in the middle of Damascus. I know some of you out there emailed me, messaged me, and you were like, are you seeing this? Like, of all the crazy stuff that I covered in the other video, that is just something else. Who is Kim Il-sung? Kim Il-sung is this guy. And this is this guy's granddaddy. And he was born April 15th, as you can see right there. And they celebrate this every year. They also celebrate it as the Day of the Sun. We are approaching it. So why would they have this man's name? I mean, of all the people on the planet, all the legendary people that's come and gone, all the anything, they have this man on a road right next to May 6th in Damascus. It's worth noting. I mean, there could have been 1 million people there. But they have him, and that's a connection directly to North Korea, running parallel to May 6th, ending before the 17th, almost 2 blocks, it looks like, away from that street. And obviously these streets are not called April 16th and April 15th, but that is the reality of the layout of Damascus. Pretty interesting. So we just had Kim Jong-un state that if they think there's any signs of a preemptive strike whatsoever, that they're going to launch a nuclear attack. Then we have this stuff going on off the coast of Southern California where they're just swarming out there in the ocean and people are speculating it's a sub, though there's no proof. There's stories being pushed out there that it's this kind of kiloton, so all this crap, there's no proof. There's no evidence at all. It's just speculation, and there very well may be, but we have no solid proof. from what I've seen, is just speculation. Even if it is there, we have no solid proof. Although they're out there looking for something. And the Omega flight was a refueler that I showed in the other video. So they're out there refueling in the air and not even landing these things as they just continuously keep going in circles. But, we're approaching April 17th, the 15th through the 17th. We have all this tension on the table here with Trump in terms of Syria and North Korea. And now Trump saying we're sending an armada. But the connection, as crazy it may seem, is there with Kim Il-sung, a street named after him, running right there into the heart of Damascus. There's your connection to North Korea. And they just so happen to be two of the hottest theaters of war. Even though they're not popped off extremely right now, we all know that once they do, it will be huge. And I've said before, expect to see a mushroom cloud emanating off that Korean peninsula. It just has always seemed like something that was going to happen to me. And I feel like we're getting ever so close to it. Let's just stay vigilant. And, I'm getting reports, I will say this also, from the cats in the UK. A woman just reached out to me and said, look, we've lived here our whole life. No one's talking about this, but we're seeing an influx around the clock of military movement, day and night. It's not just here in America where we're seeing it. Everyone wants to always say, oh, it's drill. It's normal. Well, no, it's not. Not when we go through all this time with nothing like this seen, and all of a sudden, all over the place, we've got activity around the clock. They're definitely gearing up. So, that's the latest here. As Trump states, we're going to send a very powerful armada. And it's just a day-by-day type of thing at this point. I have a funny feeling that North Korea is going to try to launch another test. And when and if they do, depending on where they aim it and everything else, all we got to do is have a boat sitting out in the water somewhere and that thing come down close to it. And that's it. It's it. They'll say they were shooting at their boat. They'll shoot it down midair. And then they'll drop bombs on them big time. All they need is that excuse. We've talked about the weak one they're pushing for Syria right now. But I will continue to update on this on the daily here. And I'll leave links below, but things to think about there in terms of this, here on this world stage. This has been Dabu7. And this is Illuminati.